chill with me, I got your favorite show recorded on my TV, but we don't have to watch that, no. I'll turn off the radio. So won't you wake up, and we can link up. It's not a hookup, don't think about it too much, too much. You just need to wake up, and we can link up. Don't think about it too much, too much. Don't think about it too much, too much. Don't think about it too much, too much, too much, too much, too much, too much. Do you think about the days when we sat down smoking wine and drinking haze? Or was it the other way? Was it the other way? Swing now, come on, chill with me. I got your favorite show recorded on my TV, but we don't have to watch that, no. I'll turn off the radio. So won't you wake up, then we can link up. It's not a hookup, don't think about it too much, too much. You just need to pick up, then we can link up. Don't think about it too much, too much. Don't think about it too much, too much. Don't think about it too much, too much. Don't think about it too much, too much, too much.
Good morning, traders. Welcome back to another live stream. If you are new, my name is Zach, aka Real Deal Zach, aka Real Deal Futures here on this beautiful Wednesday, August 20th. Before we hop onto the charts, as always, make sure you read the disclaimer that is up on the screen. Trading's risky. Most traders do lose money. I'm not a financial advisor. I don't provide financial advice. Nothing I say or do is a recommendation or suggestion to do anything at all. Make sure you do your own research and make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts, and the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content, like Top 1 Futures, code RDF, Bookmap, and others. There we go, Mike. Let's hop on to the chart, see what we got going on. Good morning, chat. What's up? What's up? Market is opened up 9:33 a.m. Eastern. Best of, I don't like to say good luck. I like to say trade well. If we're relying on luck, we're doing something wrong. But good luck, everybody. Wolf, what's up? Good morning to all. Joey Adams, good morning. Trading Dream Team, good morning. Grateful Trader on Kick, what's up? What's going on? The people that are advertising, we're going to get rid of that. Free Zex, what's up? 4 hour 200 is the kicker at the moment. Big bounce off that. Okay. We're watching the 4 hour 200 moving average, I'm assuming. Dwayne, what's up? Ralph, what's up? Good morning. Good morning. What's up, Z Money? I'm locked out for the day. Decent week. Already decent week. Didn't realize 6% needed for 150K. Yes, sir. Yo. But solid. Yeah, lock it up, man. Listen, you get yourself into some profit. You start working yourself towards hitting those nice green days. There's nothing wrong with locking it up in profit. So before we even jump out to the daily, I want to show you guys two things. This is Top 1 Futures. This is the Project X chart. We're going to be looking at ES here on the low time frames. I've been running a 15 and a 1 minute side by side. Really just started that this week. I think I'm going to continue that. I like getting a view of the 15 minute, but I want to show you guys something, right? Not to say, oh, look at me, I'm so smart, right? I got it all figured out. No, none of that stuff. But just how certain basic tools like areas, levels on the chart can come into play. Yesterday, as price started selling off, right? I had two areas that I mentioned multiple times that I was looking at. Now, I deleted some of the markup, but this zone I left on here to show you guys, right? And I'll explain where it came from. I had the 64.25s to the downside. If we broke the 64.50s, right, multiple times, talked about coming down through towards the 25s, and then this area on my chart down below, right into the 64.15s. Go back and watch yesterday's session. Feel free, right? I'm happy to tell you when I'm wrong, and happy to tell you when I have stuff that works out well, right? Simple discretionary levels. Where did this zone come from? Why did I have a gray box over here? This is exactly where it came from. Zoomed out on the 15-minute chart. Nice and zoomed out. This is the way that I like to use visible range volume profile, which I don't talk about too much. This is one of the two ways, really. But zoomed out on the 15-minute chart. A really nice area of interest based on a high volume node, right? Outside of where we were, where's the next area of highest volume? You can display this multiple different ways. It's going to display a little bit differently, right? But don't want to mess that up. But a nice high volume node down here around the 64.15s. And look where we found some buyers in the overnight session and have since pulled all the way back up, traded through VWAP, right? Simple discretionary levels, man. Outside of the basic stuff. Overnight high and low, prior day high and low, prior week high and low. The same sets of levels that almost everybody and their mother uses because they come into play. Very key watched highs and lows of price action market structure based on time, right? Overnight high and low being Asia and London, right? Up until 9:30 a.m. Eastern. And prior day high and low coming straight off the daily candle. Prior week high and low coming straight off the weekly candle or that weekly price action if you wanted to. So, but just wanted to point out how I think, how I mark up my zones, my areas of interest, and how they so often come into play. Do they always come into play like that? No, sometimes we can rip right through it. Price can do whatever it wants based on a million different factors. But I think if we're going to move to and from certain areas on the chart, certain price levels, you can easily identify those based on price action, market structure, and volume. That's the thought process. What do I have marked up to the upside below prior day high? This area right here. Why? Take a wild guess. Look at the price action and market structure. Even if I drag this out, we're catching that high right there. And look at the volume. Boom. Right next area of high volume. Simple stuff, guys. Simple stuff. So that was my my technical 2 cents for the morning. Hey, Zach, can I advertise my mentor's free videos? No. No, you cannot, Wolf. And I think you know that with the troll logo. What's going on, guys? What's going on? I run 1, 2, 5, 15, 4 hour. Those are my go-tos. Nice. Grateful Trader. Been the last 12 hours support. If we look out, grind higher. Okay. Calling out some good analysis. Grateful Trader. Appreciate you guys. So looking at the daily chart here on ES, got a little bit of a pullback rolling here, right? Got a little bit of a pullback. We've had a really, really bullish trend overall without much of this. This was the harshest down days that we've had, I think, in months when we had this in August. But so far, we're pulling off these all-time highs. Yesterday was a pretty nice example of that, right? Pretty nice down day. We are opening up with a nice bearish candle, but we did wick down low, right? Not quite to that 6400s even, but right into this area of high volume, and now we're starting to find some buyers down here. Morning, Andrew. What's going on? Starting to find some buyers down here. So I'm interested to see what we get today. I really am. I don't have a massive bias at this point. I think we could continue to sell off a little bit lower here. I think we could find buyers at any point and turn this pullback right back around up to the 64, 60s, 70s, 80s, right? I think we could easily do that. I think we could also chop down here, okay? So obviously, up, down, or sideways. Pretty unbiased coming into the morning. Overall high time frame trend to the upside, right? Dips have continued to got bought up, right? When we really zoom out and we look at things generally. But if I'm looking for a buy on this aggressively, I really like the 6400s. Big round psychological number. Prior week low being right below that. A little bit interesting, a little bit dicey to get long ahead of that. But I'll be looking to see if we sell off through overnight low, 6409s right down here. I'm interested to see if we wick down towards that 6400s, maybe down a little bit lower towards that prior week low, and I'd be very interested in a long from down there. A long at least back to VWAP, if not a complete, turn the day around and start drifting higher. If we don't do any of that, we just start pushing higher, we really want to find buyers off the open down here, I could be interested in longs breaking above, back towards overnight high, right? I don't like to get involved too quickly, kind of like yesterday, right? Kind of like a lot of people got faked out to the upside right here before we sold off, which is why I like to give it a little bit of time to open up. Pull those fake out head fakes, for a little bit. But we're gonna have to see. 9:40, at least another 5 minutes before I'm able I allow myself to hit the buy and sell button. I don't like to jump in the first 15 minutes. I like to at least wait for that to open up. Not for the 15-minute opening range really anymore, but really just to let the gamblers and the algos duke it out. No, not, you're not always a gambler if you trade the first 15 minutes. But I don't know many traders. I don't know many successful traders at all that trade the first, let's say, 5 minutes with any success, with any repeatable success. Don't know many. They're out there. They're certainly out there, but they're few and far between. It's very volatile unless you are a momentum-based, volatility-based trader, or you're trading a very quick-forming opening range. I think most will do much better staying out of the first 15 minutes, if not 30 minutes, if not an hour, right? NYSE session is great. The open is oftentimes like a news event. It can be very, very aggressive, and a lot of newer traders get smoked. So I don't like to overgeneralize, right? There's people out there. There's a one trader that I know that trades it very, very well, but it's aggressive. It's aggressive. So let's see what we got down here, chat. Let's see what we got. Wait a minute. What happened with my chart? Where is my prior day low on my 1 minute? What? Oh, come on, Project X. Don't start doing this to me. See, every once in a while when you're running the two side-by-side chart, something gets a little bit jacked up like this. 15-minute over here, and these are linked too. There we go. For some reason, that one was not synced. Prior day low. So let's see. If we take a look at Bookmap, we got some levels down below into those areas of interest that I'm talking about. 6400s right above that level. 6402s, we got quite a bit of orders. 6410s, we got quite a bit of orders. Pretty flat on CVD. We're not like pulling up with a negative 5,000 delta right off the open, cumulative volume delta. I start my chart around the same time every day. You can see today I got about up until 6:30 a.m. of data on here. So nothing crazy out of ES just yet, guys. Again, I know I'm not framing anything really. I just kind of want to see how this starts to open up. I do have my game plan, right? Looking for buys on sweeps of lows, similar to what I was initially looking at till yesterday. Until I'm proven otherwise, right? If we start to hammer into levels below, I'll look short, right? Like we took the short in the morning yesterday, got paid. Took the long in the afternoon. Yesterday, got paid. All green this week, no complaints. Coming into Wednesday with straight green, so no real complaints. All trading live with you guys, so we'll have to see. I'm gonna wait patient on this. I'm not super excited by the way we're opening up. I'm not super excited by the price action. By a down day followed by an opening of a bearish candle to the downside on the daily. I think we could find buyers here, but we might have a little bit more selling pressure in store. So I'm not as hungry for longs, looking for a sweep of a low, as I have been in this market now that we're starting to pull off of all-time highs. But I want to let the market show me its hand, be a little bit late to the party. That's my game plan. Talked about that being. I consider myself pretty patient, but trying to be even more patient. If we take a look at, let's see. Morning, mate. Scott, what's up? What's going on, guys? Yeah, selling off down towards this overnight low level. Yeah, again, guys, I could see these 6400s coming into play today. Maybe we just sweep this overnight low, but I can see the 6400s coming into play. Omega, what's up? Morning, Zach. Took 10-day break to clear my mind. Review my 2025 trades, made changes, and we are back in the markets, baby. Kingpin. I love that, bro. I love that. There's definitely a benefit to stepping away, right? I like to do it during vacations. That's my game plan. In a couple weeks, I'll be on one and I'll be stepping away. And then when I come back, I do a nice thorough review, take a look at everything that's going well, what's not going so well, adapt, improvise, overcome. I also do that on a weekly basis, usually on a daily basis, and then on a weekly basis for some nice review. Today's moves can be wild. I could agree with that. Anyone catch a falling knife? Not yet, Scott. Not yet. Not yet. Got long yesterday, though, and everybody was calling me brave. It's off a simple level. Got paid on it. Biblical, what's up? What's going on, guys? Appreciate y'all hopping on. Everybody from Kick, YouTube, X. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all hopping on. All the way back down towards prior day low. Yeah, this is going to get interesting. This is going to get interesting. So I wanted to pull up news for you guys. I talked about it in Discord. If you're not in the free Discord, feel free to hop in. You do whatever you want. Free means free, but I run a 100% free trading Discord. That'd be more than happy to have you on. Where you can catch some of this stuff that I'm about to talk about right now. So crude oil coming up at 10:30. Let's look at financial juice also, because Forex Factory almost failed me earlier this week when I didn't know Trump was talking. Yeah, so we got this both on Financial Juice and Forex Factory. I'm showing you guys forexfactory.com. Financial news events, right? Scheduled financial news events that are highly likely to impact the markets. 10:30 crude oil. That could be. Sometimes this moves the markets a little more than a yellow folder. Yellow folder designates low impact, medium impact, high impact, right? Financial Juice has that as like a red. I don't even know what those mean, but I could see this maybe impacting the markets a little bit. Not enough where I'm going to say I'm going to stay out of a trade at all. It's not a unemployment or FOMC or NFP, but I want to be a little bit cautious of that. FOMC meeting minutes into the afternoons could definitely be a dicey afternoon to trade. Power hour could be a little bit crazy, guys. Could be a little bit crazy. I'll be back on at 3 p.m. We'll be checking that out together, but we'll have to watch for that. Outside of that, not just watch this market as we tap overnight low. Not too much. We could consolidate ahead of this. It's reason for a little bit of caution. And then we got Jackson Hole into the later part of this week, 10 a.m. on Friday. Jay Powell speaking. Unemployment tomorrow, 8:30. So we got a little bit coming up. Could be interesting to see what the market does today. I could see a choppy, rangy day forming. That could definitely be in play. I could also see a big move. This one could definitely go either way. It's not as clear as like a no news Monday or an NFP Friday, right? Where we're like, okay, no news Monday and big news later in the week. Pretty good chance of a choppy, rangy, consolidating day. NFP Friday, probably going to see a big movement out of the market. You get something in the middle where we do have a little bit of news, maybe a little bit later in the week. We've already been moving a little bit this week, middle of the week. Kind of could go either way. So try to stay flexible on these types of days. So here we go. Selling off, filling liquidity to the downside. This is going to be interesting around this next level. I'm not going to dive head first, guys, into this long. We really dropped off aggressively on CVD. We dropped off, we've been dropping off heavy on buyers and just not showing up. Obviously, sell volume as prices moving lower confirms this nice movement to the downside. Man, this might be right to prior week low. This might be like right down to prior week low that we start to get today. Got orders getting pulled that were at 402. Nice. Okay. This is an interesting spot near this 6,400, right? Big round psychological number. I'm interested to see what happens as we come down here. I'm looking long, right? I'm looking long, but I'm not going to jump in head first on this today. Going to try to hold myself patient. We opened up tested VWAP. You know, maybe you're a really aggressive first 10 minutes of the open VWAP trader. That would have presented a really nice trade to the downside. That's not my setup. Not that early in the morning. Not before 9:45 for sure. But yeah, 6,400 is going to be a key level. I think we come through this. There we go. Trading below 6,400. Buyers, do they show up here? Do we go right down towards that prior week low level? If we do, I'm not taking a buy off of this. I'm considering prior week low for a potential opportunity to look long. I'm going to zoom out on the 15-minute. This would, if we came all the way down here, I think we at least see some reaction. We don't just rip everybody's face off to the downside. We certainly could. But if we come down into these mid 80s, I'm definitely looking long. We could bounce here. Could absolutely bounce here. Big round psychological number outside of this area of high volume after selling off. This could be a wick lower before we start a move to the upside. Could absolutely sell right off the prior week low, which is what I'm going to wait for. And maybe we just absolutely dump today, but I think we potentially find some buyers down here. If we get another push lower, I'm going to look long off of prior week low. It's going to be aggressive. It's going to be counter to this initial movement, but that's a far enough move and off of a really key level where I'd be very surprised if buyers did not show up at all and we just did this. Give me a way to structure risk, right? Nice wide stop loss where I say, hey, if we come all the way down through towards like the mid 60s, I'm dead wrong. We're not finding buyers at all. We're not coming back up towards overnight low, prior day low, back towards VWAP, where it's just going to be a bloodbath, you know? So that's what I'm looking at. This is aggressive, way too aggressive for me to jump in front of this. I don't want a stop loss at prior week low. We could absolutely find buyers here. I know I'm repeating myself, but I'm going to be looking for a potential long if we continue lower off of prior week low around this level. Not going to be exactly here, but fill in some more liquidity to the downside. And we start to dry up. There's just not too much more below that until we get all the way down to like the 370s. So 390s could be 390s into that. Yeah, prior week low level could be an interesting spot. Here we go. Ooh, aggressive. Congrats if you got short on this, man. We got some movement, chat. Let's see. Yeah, I might even have to hop over to micros. This is pretty aggressive. This is pretty volatile. Yeah, I'm watching down here. Here we go, trading out the 90s. I think we start to bounce here. Heavy negative CVD, man. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna run this on micros. This is gonna be a really aggressive long, and if I get smoked on it, I want to allow myself a second trade. So I'm gonna run this with micros. This is me managing risk. I wanna find my way into this. Super aggressive. Let's see if we're coming down through really one of the last levels of liquidity here. Where I'm going to look long with 5 micros. I'm going to cut my trade size in half. Again, as a way to manage risk, put a 20 point stop with $500 on. Let's see. I'm looking for like a wick down. I'm going to try from right in here. Super aggressive. Again, I jumped over to the micro chart. As if you guys have been watching me trade, you know, all week and as of recent, I've been putting on $1,000 worth of risk in these accounts. This is really aggressive. I'm running a wide stop. Again, we're talking 20 points, but I'm going to see if we can't catch a little bounce off of prior week low here. Probably not going to hold on to this for the moon, but I'm going to see if we can't have some buyers step in right here. Could absolutely get smoked on this though, guys. Again, which is why when I start to feel something is really aggressive, but I want in on the trade, maybe I want to give myself 2 opportunities to trade, which I do today. I think this could still play out really quickly. I don't mind sizing down a little bit. But I jumped right over to the micro chart. I have no markings on this chart. Now I have no markings on this chart. But here's what it's looking like on ES. Really close to that prior week low. We got a little bit more liquidity down here, all the way to the 80s actually. Could see one more dip down. But I'm going to see if we can't find some buyers stepping back in, which we are so far. but light. I'm going to go light on this one. If you want to trade, momentum and you just want to sell into selling pressure, go ahead and fade this one. Just absolutely smash the short button. Ooh, no buyers on that. No buyers on that. Right through the 87s. I want to see some buyers step in here. I think I'm getting smoked. Right in here. 80s. Last chance. We get down below this and we don't find anybody, or we get close to this, we don't find anybody looking to buy, start to pop back up, see some volume back up to the upside. I think I'm out of this for now. 63, yeah, 63.80s next level before the 70s, man, before we come all the way down here. So let's see. Let's see what we get, chat. I'm out. Made 1K on ES. Lock it up, Ralph. You're done. You're done for the day. Waited for CF. Yeah, oh yeah. Whole bunch of made up ridiculous terms. Good job, Wolf. It's trading with the I lose money boys. I moved to MES. Good morning to all from Colombia. What's up? NQ is melting. Is it? Bleeder. Nice. Let's see. Yeah, guys. So we someone said I moved to MES. I'm waiting to see if we can't catch a bounce here, right? I'm not going to look for an enormous reversal out of this, but I think we could catch some nice buyers stepping in. Maybe we're going to continue lower, but even a halfway, 3/4 of the way back up to VWAP, it would give me a W on this. Now that might not happen. We are aggressively lower. We really have not had buyers start to show up here just yet. Heavy negative CVD, which is supporting this cumulative volume delta. It's pretty aggressive, which is why I'm here with half risk, right? Half the trade size, which is an important note, right? I did that kind of quickly, but I think it's important to talk about. A really important skill set as a trader, right? This is not entries and exits and trade management. This is structuring of risk. And a really important skill set to start to develop is reading volatility. Maybe you use how much is price moving relative to how much it usually moves. And are you structuring your trade in a way that makes sense, right? This is very volatile. We started to get a lot of volume and a lot of movement out of this market, right? If I'm in with one mini the way that I was trading yesterday and and a stop loss that is much tighter or just way too much risk on, it doesn't make sense, right? Maybe doesn't make sense for this volatility. Now, half of this is accounting for volatility. Half of this is just being dynamic with risk management. Why is this chart tripping out? But I think a really good skill set that you can develop is getting a good feel for momentum, good feel for volatility, and deciding when to size up and when to size down, right? Both on how much risk that you want to have on the line, and maybe you do want to widen out stop loss. Maybe I want to have a stop loss. Maybe I still want to run $1,000 on this, right? Which I'm not going to. But maybe I want to run, a 20-point stop loss was appropriate yesterday, but a 40-point stop loss might make more sense today. It's based on market structure, price action, how the market's actually moving. So that's the thought process, right? I think it can be valuable to be able to learn to do that. Yeah, so I would have liked to see a more aggressive bounce already. We're opening up another 15-minute candle. Here we go, back up to the upside, trying it. This is what I'd like to see, and I'd really like to see it continue. But again, I'm going to hold on to this. We get back towards the 6400s. That's an interesting spot. This is an interesting spot on this chart. Damn. That's really not enough. 6410s, we got a nice stack all the way right back up at VWAP. All the way right back up at VWAP. Yeah, guys, I'm going to, oh man, CVD still dropping off. I'm going to apply some discretion here. We got more and more orders stacking up down below. And we don't have much past the 6400s, which is obviously a key round psychological number, until we get to 6410s, and then really not much up above that. We got more down below. 6350s, 6380s, a heavy negative CVD. Yeah, and again, guys, this is a much faster moving market. This is a little bit different, of the longer hold diamond hand swing trades that you've seen me taking. I'm gonna have to watch this at the 6400s and be cautious, man. I don't know that I want to try to hold through this. We're finding some sellers again. Yeah, not a bad entry on this. Like, really can't complain. But here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make an executive call here. I'm going stop loss to break even with a take profit. I'm gonna front run the 6400s. Look for a small movement out of this. I'm not comfortable with this one. We still have sellers showing up. We have more selling volume than buying volume, even as we're rising. I think it's highly unlikely that we don't come through. Trade out the 80s, the 75s, the 70s. I think we got a leg lower here. So I'm going to apply. We could absolutely reverse from here and see a huge push to the upside. And this is a massive dip buying opportunity. But we're not seeing that just yet. We're not seeing this just yet. So I'm going to try to catch a wick up here. I'll show you what I'm looking at right here. I want to see this trade out. Here's my take profit right in here. Want to see this trade out really quickly. And I'm cautious that we don't come back down through and go to grab all of this liquidity down here. Heavy negative CVD. We dropped off like a knife here, and we really haven't started to recover at all. All of that is adding into we might be in for lower prices here. So I caught my long opportunity, waited patiently. I'm running this with low risk, and now I'm being even more risk off by going. I think I'm going to get taken out at break even. But going for a small trade on this. But I'm not going to leave $500 worth of risk on the line, right? If I'm not going to go for $500,000 worth of profit, and I don't want to. Maybe I'm going to wait for a lower price to try it. So that's the thought process on this one, guys. Adjustment, applying some discretion, articulating why, right? But this started to give me a nice bounce here. Started to give me a little bit of a bounce here, but I wanted to catch an immediate bounce, a really immediate, aggressive bounce, which is why I'm saying it's a little bit different than the longer hold, slower moving, throw the trade on and let it play out to the upside or downside trades that I've been finding myself in. This one needed a reaction. We started to get it. We might still get a little wick up here, but I don't have the confidence to hang on to that. So I structure my risk. Risk-free trade. We're either going to make next to none, $8.80 on that one. Next to none or a lot. Now, again, we could absolutely reverse from here. I applied some discretion on this because not at all giving me what I need to jump in and leave a lot of risk on the line. I'd like to take something, a second entry. Yeah, and I did not come to the table today with a super bearish bias at all, and that would have helped, but yeah, man, I don't know, we could bottom out down here. We could find buyers. There's a lot right here. A lot past the 75s. I'm interested to see. We get another dip down. I might try something similar, but I'm going to be cautious with it. Definitely going to be cautious with it. Let's see. Smart, we'll do the same. Ralph, good on you, mate. Yeah. Yeah, like again, so here's the long, guys, right? Long off of a key level, sweep of prior week low. We could definitely find some buyers here. Let's come back over to ES so we can watch it on ES. It's marked up. Could definitely find some buyers here. I'm not saying that we don't and we don't start to reverse. But we wicked lower, started to come back off. You can see how that level came into play. That looked good. This looked good. We come back down through the low. Buyers are failing. They're failing to take it higher. They tried here, tried there. Volume's lining up with that. So I'd like to wait. I'd like to wait either for more structure to form to the upside to take a long running it back through VWAP or a further dip lower. Here we are putting lows of the day in, lows of the session in. So, tried it, right? Got in and out for enough to not even buy a Chipotle bowl. Times 7, so maybe. But, break-even trade. Can't really complain. We'll see if we just rip higher. So far, I'd be in the red on this. So we'll see. We'll see. But again, a little bit different based on the context of what's happening, right? We're ripping to the downside really aggressively. If I'm going to get long on something, it's not that I'm not going to let the trade breathe for a bit, but if we moved really quickly into a level and I'm looking for a bounce, I want to see a bounce or at least something start to line up. CVD start to grow, or get less negative, volume start to pick up on a move to the upside. Something to show me, hey, this is going to get ready to move. Otherwise, more levels down below that we're trading into right now and just some levels up above, but not really anything stacking up, back towards a level that I'd want to hold on to. I adjust like I did on that one. Again, a little bit more discretion, saying I'm going to throw a modest take profit, small bounce, and if I'm going to do that, I got to take risk off the line. So we'll see. We'll see. Again, I still think we could find buyers down here, but not yet. Not yet. This is looking bloody. So in and out for break even. That's what I got so far. Oh man. Yeah. NQ is completely knifed down. I'm looking at the 15-minute chart, just going around the horn real quick. ES looking very bloody. YM not really even following, not even down below morning lows. The Mag 7 looking nice and red. Not insane, but nice and red. Oh. Yep, still selling off, guys. Straight to the 75s. This is pretty gnarly. I'm just checking a couple things on second screen. I don't know if I want to try I don't know if I want to try a long again. I think maybe on a way big overextension, but this is pretty gnarly, man. This is pretty gnarly. Let's see. Yeah, if you got short off the open, you found a way in, you take some VWAP trades, for a break right off the open. Very nice. But this is heavy. So even looking at a daily chart over here on the right-hand side, we're putting in a pretty serious down day. Nobody showing up just yet. Maybe I look around the 70s. But this could melt. This could just continue. It's already melting, but this could continue to melt. I'm not gonna look for continuation trade. On these super strong breakouts, you could always just hit the sell button and go stop above. A couple 1 minute bars, a stop above a 5 minute bar, right? That's just not my play on these. It's just really not my play. I'm not a breakout and continuation trader. Hey, hang on 1 second, guys. I just gotta check something. I'll be right back. Let me just set this back up. I'll be right back. Back in action, guys. All right, let's see. Let's see what we got. I don't know if you're gonna hear banging background noise, but that's some work getting finished up. I'm not finished up, but doing some more work on my house. So I'll chat it up with you guys in a second. But let's just look at these markets as we're moving here. Heavy negative CVD, very negative CVD. Continued to come through levels of liquidity to the downside. We didn't want to go and break that. I got long and then took a stop at break even. That looks like it would have been playing pretty nicely for me because I would have had a stop in here. I think my stop was right in here. Looking at Bookmap, maybe we find buyers after getting through this, or we just run out of interested buy orders. Maybe these are sellers taking profit, but forget the narrative. We got a level of liquidity down here and not much until we get all the way down here. And that's already getting moved around. Who knows if that's going to stay on the book. I could see trying something stupid aggressive off the 70s if I wanted to, which I might. But I might run something like that with some micros. Look for a pullback up. Start to take everybody else out that was getting short too late to the party. Even if we are going to continue lower, maybe down to the 50s. But I think we go and clean this out. Starting to bottom out here, so maybe we pop right back up off of these lows. But I'd be interested to see what happens if we get one more push lower here. Can mark that on the chart. This is a nice little last-ditch effort of Bookmap. I'm curious to see if we come down, trade through the 63.70s. Could keep going, but man, no pullback. Maybe we get something where we can structure a trade from down here 15 or so points, looking for a nice pop back up towards prior week low. Could see something like that. But this is aggressive, man. This is nice and aggressive. Well, good morning, Sandy. Hey, buddy, what's up? Today's a good day to not get smoked. Yeah, guys. Listen, the market starts moving, and a lot of traders get FOMO, right? They start doing crazy stuff. They start FOMOing in late because the market's moving, right? So I think be cautious, right? Be cautious here. Don't feel like just because the market's moving, you got to do something, right? There's no need to just get cooked unnecessarily because the market's starting to move around and you want to be in because there's money to be made, right? You are going to see a lot of big green days today, right? From people that are trading because the market moved, but doesn't mean it's a setup for you, right? If you're not going to do something the same every single damn day, then you shouldn't be doing it today. If I did take something, guys, I'm going to run micros again. I'm just watching it on the ES chart because this is my marked up chart. But if I did try something again, I'd be trying it with micros. Here we are coming right into that level. Did we trade? What did we trade down to? 3 we traded actually to the 70, to the tick. Damn. Well, I was looking for a potential. Let me reset VWAP here. I was looking for a potential bounce off the 70s, and we're getting that, but it didn't really give me an opportunity. We didn't trade through it. So I'm not going to say that that's a missed opportunity. We traded like to it. And there's still liquidity sitting there on Bookmap, so. But yeah, I'll run something from down here. I'm going to take a follow-up. We could absolutely just continue this knife lower, but I think we pull back up to prior week high. I think we start to take out some sellers, pull back up here into the 97s. We dipped down and we did get a little jump in buying volume, not a ton. We got too many orders sitting right here for me to jump in long. Way too many. 222, 100 down below it. But this could be, that was a nice aggressive nice aggressive candle to the upside there on some volume. Do I gotta try it from 5 points higher? Doesn't give me the risk structure that I want. Damn, man. Almost off the 70s. Dang, that would have been nice. Didn't quite trade out. It traded to the level that I wanted. But not filling the liquidity down there. I had a feeling that we were going to start to see this. $63.70s. Maybe one more wick lower. I get a shot to run this bad boy long. If we pull up, it's done. If we pull up, I'm missing it. Dang. This chair is getting bored. It was expecting to take a trade for a ride. Good morning. Yeah, we'll throw a chair trade on soon. Short one micro 63.75. Send it. Yeah, I think we start to get a pullback here. I wanted it off the 70s. Dang, man. Here's what I was looking at. Again, I just showed you guys. We traded it to it. I don't even think I would have gotten a fill off the 63.70s. We traded literally to it without taking out all the liquidity there, and here we are trading over 10 points higher. I would have been looking up to prior week low, 15 to 18 points. Dang, man, really close for a long play. We got right there, man. We got right there. Dang. Let's see. Damn, man. That one would have been nice. That's my W. Yeah, unfortunately, this is gonna be my W playing out in front of me. Close, again, not a missed trade, right? This market's moving all over the place. That reaction, that immediate nice big bullish 1 minute candle on some volume, right? On the highest area of volume for the last few minutes. That's nice confirmation that, hey, maybe we see some buyers step right back in. Just didn't get the dip down here to look for an entry, and this was going to be the long down here. So no no miss trade, good read, but that one's a little bit frustrating to watch. That's crazy. Buy market need a pullback. Yeah, this is pretty gnarly. This is pretty gnarly. This is a pretty gnarly chat. But yeah, again, a lot of people do well if you catch, one of these trades, if you catch a short off the open. But I would be cautious if you're, feeling that FOMO start to kick in, right? A lot of traders do get cooked on these days, not because of anything other than the market's moving a lot and it starts to entice you, right? It's showing you like, look at how much money you could have made, right? If you just did this thing that you never do any other day, which would be sell right off the open and hold the trade, indefinitely, that type of deal. So you can start to chase trades, you can start to FOMO in and out of stuff, really just not do anything good. So try not to do that. The market's going to move. It's going to have big days. Wait for your setups patiently to come. Put your trades on without reservation or hesitation, but don't just be jumping in and out of stuff. Stopped. Scott. Bought that on props. Bill, nice. Where's on book map? Keep appearing and disappearing. Yeah, we got some stuff getting moved around. On book map. So the heavy stuff that was at the 70s got moved down to the 60s, but dang, man. ES had to do it to me. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, guys. I know I'm jumping in and out today, but I don't mind being honest with you. I got hurricane glass windows put in. I was joking around on Instagram if you guys follow me on socials, and today was like the inspector coming, and that's what's going on. Still working on stuff. So anyway, that's what I got going on. Let's run it. That would have been a beautiful trade off of those 6370s. Do we see a huge V-shaped reversal today? I don't know. I don't know that we do. Let's look at this together here. Here's the let's jump out to the higher time frame right off the bat. Do a little bit of looking at this daily candle. Now, this could be the dip down in the uptrend, right? Maybe that we kind of close down here. Maybe we push down lower a little bit and pull back up. Maybe we do get that V-shaped reversal and we turn this into a long wick to the downside doji or a bullish candle, right? So that's all in play. I like to look at sometimes the higher time frames and go like, is there something that would be like completely unreasonable to see that would look crazy, right? For average daily ranges and what we traditionally see out of price action and market structure. And then, kind of like just take that into context where we're at on the chart. Gnarly bearish day, right? Really selling off the open. Little break and retest of VWAP and then continuing lower. If we look on the 15-minute, very aggressive to the downside. Straight through overnight low, all the way down through prior week low. Now trading below that, at the 70s. So I don't know, man. I really don't know. I don't want to be. I don't like to be looking back at a ridiculous sell-off where I just continually tried to buy it and all I would have had to do was hit the sell button to make money. But this one, I think to get short on this, now it's a little bit late to the party. I think we can sell off, but obviously, hindsight being 2020, anywhere in here, as we're holding below VWAP, if that's your play for the extension, that's a good move, right? We break the 6400s with aggression. Maybe you take a breakout on that, right? That was your opportunity to come lower here. You want to take another breakout for a huge extension. Sure, market can sell off into oblivion for forever, but how much more room do we really have to the downside? We could go all the way down to the 50s, right? 6350s. We got liquidity now at the 60s. But I think if we're going to find buyers, this isn't a bad area to try it. Again, I missed my bounce play right off of this level. I think this is a key spot. I want to see what happens if we trade down through this level again. And I could be interested in looking at a long. Why? Gives me a good way to structure risk, right? It's a cheap trade. If I'm wrong, I'm dead wrong. And if I'm right, we get a nice little pop back up on this bad boy. But I did miss that initial pop, right? And that would have presented a decent W. So I'm not going to jump right into anything again here. The thesis, it wasn't that we come down here and then we bounce and then we come all the way back down and I take it again on a second time for no reason at all, right? Let's see if we get a push down. Maybe we aggressively wick lower. We trade 10 points lower. We could look for something there, but tried it long once, got out at break even. Could try it long again, but I do want to be cautious. I got cooked. Influencer's bias was in my head, thinking it would go up and get liquidity, then sell off, trade the chart with no one in your head. That's a tough one. Trader Julie Kate. Yeah, guys, don't I know you're on here trading with me, but I always like to preface that as well. I'm talking about trading for me, how I'm reading the market, and that can be useful for you in a number of ways. But don't utilize anybody else's opinion as your own, right? You can't have, for two reasons. Number one, you can't backtest that. You can't forward test that. You're 100% reliant on somebody else in real time, which is a silly position to put yourself in. And number two, you need to be confident in your own trading, right? This is why copy trading doesn't work. This is why signals don't work. You will never have the confidence to hold on to a position or to trade in a way that somebody else does because it's not your idea. You can't have their confidence because it's not your confidence, right? Oh, is it going to bounce off the 70s again? Hang on. What the fuck, man? Excuse my language. What are we going to do here? Decision-making time. Decision-making time down here for these markets. Are we gonna drop aggressively through this? Or are we actually gonna find some buyers here? Let me not get in long 5 minis. That would be a bad thing to do.
Order filled.
I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try this long. This is gonna be my long play. We got buyers showing up, trying it off these 70s. If we come all the way through, I got room all the way down to the 60s. Yeah, I got room down to the 60s to let this thing come down a little bit further. We got 630 orders on the book down here. But if we absolutely just continue knifing lower, I'm absolutely dead wrong. Completely dead wrong, and I'd be looking to buy on a gnarly down day, which I am, and get cooked. So, but for me, aggressive long, attempt number 2. Got in and out for break even on the first one. This one I do like. I think we got a decision-making point on the chart, right? We're down below. Hang on, this is not my marked up chart. We're down below prior week low, right? Swept all the way down through these areas of liquidity here, down to this area of high volume, right? A key level for me to look for a decision to be made, at least right now. Zero pull or very little pullback, no pullback to prior week low, and just melt. In which case, if we do, I think we're coming down below my stop loss invalidation point and even lower. Like we're just going to absolutely have a gnarly down day. Or buyers start to step back in. Not to say that we completely reverse, not to say that we turn this into a bullish day, not to say that it's going to just go up through all-time highs. That's not the trade thesis, but that we pull back up past prior week low, at least start taking out some late shorts, go pop some stops up here, maybe trade back towards VWAP, volume weighted average price, before maybe we get a further push lower, right? So I'm in long, 5 micros, again, light, half risk. These are aggressive trades, very counter. I'm taking that into consideration with my sizing, right? With my sizing. But waited for, 2 different spots on the chart, right? Got a level that I'm looking at. Let's see. All we can do, no predictive power, right? No crazy predicting what the market's going to do next. Just providing maybe a good way to structure some risk, right? A good way to structure some risk. So this is the micro chart, right? I'm swapping back and forth between minis and micros because I want to size down. We got a lot of volatility. We got a lot of movement. I'm going to be dynamic with my risk management and say I don't want to put I don't need to put $1,000 on the line today, and I still want to run a 20-point stop. So in order to do that, I got to cut my size in half. Got to cut my size in half and trade five micros. But yeah, if we come through, we come through the 60s. Like again, this is what my stop loss is down below. We come through this level here, where we got a nice stack of orders that I didn't want to wait for because I felt like we might not trade all the way down to it, but it looks like now we might. We come through this with a lot of force. We trade 10 points below this. Damn, I'd almost like this to be just a little bit wider. Looking on Bookmap. This was my level, right? This was my 70s as we started to come lower. Tapped it there, started to get a little bit of bottoming here. This came on late to the game, right? 10-15. I don't know that we come down to this. I don't even know if this is legit. They didn't want to get filled here. They moved it down. I don't even know if this stays on the book. We might start to come down. This might get pulled. But I want to be down below this, right? Because I think if we come through this, right, and we don't fill, we dip down below, and we don't bounce there, I don't think we're bouncing. I think we're coming all the way down through the 30. I think we're coming down to just continually selling off. So don't mind to try it for a long here, back towards VWAP. That's the thought process, chat. We'll see. I'll be the only idiot on YouTube getting long. That's my game plan. Just like that, winner down, aggressive, copycats don't pay, up $400 first day trading the giveaway account. Nice. Scary longs, good morning. Oh yeah, using one EMS, MES go short. Got you. Yeah, we'll see how this one goes. Again, guys, not gonna make or break either way, right? On catching a bounce or a sell-off, right? Low risk. That's me being dynamic with it. I'll be out for under $500 if we sell off right towards my stop loss. To the upside, back towards these 6400s, man, be pretty nice. We come back above this high. Again, I'm not going to look for a home run on this. I'm not looking for a huge reversion. I'm just looking for us to find some buyers, maybe take out some late shorts here. Back up towards VWAP. That's my play. But yeah, we started to talk about, Trader Julie Kate got cooked today. She formed a bias based on, somebody else's bias, right? Here's what I think. Early on, really early on, I think it's very helpful for beginners, to be listening to other people talk about the market, explain what they're looking at, what they're doing, right? And really take that into consideration, because you're just so green that it's hard for you to frame any of your own ideas that make sense at all, and it can just kind of be helpful. Past that, I still think it can be helpful, right? I still like to talk to other traders, watch what they do, how they do, but I'm not saying they think it's going to go up or down, so now I think it's going to go up or down, right? It's how they form those opinions, the tools they use and the way that they apply them. I might want to attempt to do that myself. But again, I'm a firm believer that copy trading and signal trading, attempting to mimic somebody else's trades, if they're not just trading the thing for you, will never work for two reasons, two really clear reasons. Number one, you'll never be fast enough. You'll never be fast enough. There's always latency. There's always lag. You'll be in late with a better or worse price, but you'll never be spot on. And number two, and more importantly, you'll never have the confidence to trade the way that person trades, because you're not them. You can't possibly logically have that confidence because it's not your idea. It's not your belief system that told you to put that trade on, right? It's not back tested and forward tested by you. So it's a huge industry. It's this whole thing, but you'll never be able to hold the winning trades. You'll be frustrated, and it's just a waste of time. I would encourage nobody to attempt that. It can feel good, and I think it's so appealing because it removes the responsibility, right? If you lose money because somebody else's idea didn't work out, you go, that person sucked. It's not my fault. It's on them, right? And that can feel good as a human. Like, we never want to take responsibility. We want to find other reasons, right? We want to blame the market, blame the broker, blame the prop firm, blame the other trader that we're watching, when it's our fault. We all have 110 responsibility, right? We can press the buy and sell button, and we do these mind tricks to take that away from ourselves when we lose, But that's my thought on copy trading and signals and all that stuff. Waste of time, huge waste of time, And I hope you guys all understand that is not what I'm doing here at all. If you don't get it from the disclaimer in the beginning of the video and the end of the video, I will describe it again now. I'm trading here to show you what real trading looks like for me, for entertainment purposes only, but not in a way at all to be copied, because in the ways that I'm describing right now, it does not work. It will not work. It'll never work. Don't waste your time or money or energy at all. If that's what you're here for, I would encourage you to leave. If you're on anybody else's stream for that, or you're paying for signals, I encourage you to stop doing it. I've never seen it work, not once, not ever, never, and it won't. If you want to put your money into an account for somebody else to trade, that's a financial advisor. Maybe you look at doing that, but take responsibility for your trading, form your own ideas, hang out with other traders. I love hanging out with other traders. I love watching other people trade. I pay to do that. I really do, but not to copy what they're doing, not for their trade idea on a Tuesday, right? That's going to make or break my account. There's no sustainability. It's not repeatable, right? It's not worth it. So anyway, I hope that helps. Blame the tea leaves. Yeah. That's what I said. Yeah. No, you got to take responsibility, man. Everybody loves to complain. I even see when people, it's so readable. It's sad. It's really sad. It's so readable. I watch people post wins, and it's all about how they took the W and all the responsibility, and how smart they are and what they did and all that good stuff, right? I watch them talk in that way. And then when it comes to the losing trades, it's every excuse in the book, right? Everything that doesn't have to do with them. The broker, the platform, the market, Trump, this hit my stop. It's like, yo, you did that, man. Somebody else made money when you lost money. It's a zero-sum game. Take responsibility. That's it. And it's encouraging. It's not encouraging. It's empowering to do that. Empowering to do that. To say, yeah, if I take a loss, I could easily have done the exact opposite and taken a win. If you want to, blame the market or the broker or the prop firm did something and that's why you lost money, but all these other people over here made money, you're just lying to yourself. I did that for a while, man. I really did early on. It was always the market's fault. Always. The market, somebody, like if this didn't happen, I would have made money. If this didn't, yes, we have platform issues and they're very frustrating, but usually when I talk about something, if it's not a crazy platform specific issue, I talk about it in the context that I did something, right? Maybe, yes, you made a mistake, but I made that mistake. I own that mistake, right? I've talked about fat fingering stuff plenty of times, but that's not an excuse. I fat fingered it, right? I entered it wrong. That was an execution error. So, I think that could be really helpful. I think it'd be really helpful to think about. I always blame Trump since 1986. That's what brings me here every day, because you are real. Yeah, guys, think about that, man. It's tough. It sucks. On a losing day, we don't want to say it's our fault. But win or loss, right? If you're going to take responsibility for the W's, you better damn well be ready to take responsibility for the L's. There's literally nobody else, unless there's somebody else forcing you to press the buy or sell button. I would encourage you to, ask for help. Say, use a code word in the chat. We'll come and help you out. So I take full responsibility for it. For me, why I didn't put the guardrails up. Sure. Yeah, I don't copy trade, but I'm a momentum breakout trader, and when people post bias, it screws my trading. Yeah, I turned that stuff off after loss. Yeah, yep, yeah, no, for sure. And I'm not generalizing you today, Trader Julie Kate. For sure. I just it's important if you find yourself like continuing to trade with the bias that you're watching somebody else or listening to somebody else do, I would encourage changing it up. I would really encourage changing it up. It's not a good thing to do. If anyone would see my trade desk, they would laugh. I've seen it's funny. Victim mentality is quite common with beginners. Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to realize that, we're it's kind of, again, we deal with a lot of paradoxes in trading, right? A lot of kind of like contradictions. And how can, here's why I think it's tough. How can we take responsibility for an uncertain outcome, an event that we don't know the outcome of, and technically is not based on our input when we talk about the market moving, right? This is a tough one. But we have to recognize the market's moving and we're not responsible for those market movements, right? But we are responsible for only really like one thing that we control. When we hit the buy and sell button, where our stop loss and take profit goes, when we enter and exit the market. So we can easily find ourselves taking responsibility. Oh, sellers showing up on this one, guys. Oh, man. So let's see. This order on Bookmap got moved around, continuing to get moved around. I don't know that this stays here. I think it might drop almost right now. Maybe these guys get filled down here, but here it is getting moved from the 70s to the 60s, now at the 57s. My stop's down here. We might get smoked on this one. Buyers not showing up off the 70s. I wanted to see last ditch to the 60s. Now we got the 57s that I got to wait for. But this might just continue to do what it's been doing and move down. But so far, not a real impressive bounce. Not a real impressive bounce. Let's see. But gonna leave this one on. Not gonna obviously not just gonna clip it early. We had the 60s. I'm gonna leave this line here, but now it's really the 57s, which is a little bit close to my stop. But I said that earlier when I put the trade on. I'd almost like this to be wider, but I'm not gonna take on any more risk. Otherwise, then I got to shoot for the moon on it. So we'll see. See this one plays out. But yeah, it's again, we deal with a lot of paradoxes. So while we're not responsible for what moves the market, right? We're not moving the market up or down. And we have to only play out an edge, and we don't know the next hand that we're going to be dealt, but we know over a long period of time that we should have an edge. You know, how can we be responsible? You know, so it's a tough one. It's a tough one. In and out, Scott. Out. Now a cartoon of marbles. now up a carton of Marlboros, Florida price. Scott, that's funny, man. That's funny. What's up, Grateful Trader? 23,045s on NQ breaks could get dicey. Yeah, dude. I don't know if we don't find buyers here. I think we go lower. I think it turns into a really bloody day, right? It's already a pretty gnarly day, but that's my play. No really. Maybe what would have gotten me into a short, like what would have allowed me to get into a short, would be a really serious pullback and then an aggressive continuation. But we didn't get that today. You know, we didn't get any pullback to VWAP outside of this right here, 10 minutes into the open as we started selling off. So I'd need something like that, you know, a pullback towards VWAP, an area of high volume, a pullback up to these lows like the 410s to have gotten into a short for a continuation move. After this type of deal, you know, I'm gonna try to find a level to test a long. That's essentially the trade setup. And if I take this one on the chin, which I always do with my L's, I'm probably not going to try it again. I'm probably not going to try it again. Yo, buddy, verified. I wish I didn't trade pre-market. I did well, but man, wish I caught this dump difficult after the big 2-minute push at the open. Yeah, dude, Grateful Trader. Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing. Here's my 2 cents here, right? These days are tough on people. And most people get cooked, not because the market like sold off and they were long. They get cooked because they get FOMO, right? And what you got to ask yourself is, are you going to catch this on like another day? Are you a 10-minute breakout trader? Like, are you usually selling right off the open after a kind of a breakthrough VWAP? Like, is that your play? If not, and then do you hold your trades for a big R multiple? Do you drag stop losses? Like, is that your setup? If not, question what kind of FOMO we're feeling. Is it just that the market moved and we weren't in it? you know? Or is it that, you know, you missed a good trade because you typically take a trade setup like this? You know, I think that could be helpful because I used to do that a lot also. Like, market would move and I'd be like, well, why didn't I make money? Well, I'm never going to catch that move because that's not my trade. That's not my play, you know? I'm not a immediate off the open buy or sell and then hold to the moon. That's, you know, or to the ground, right? So I would ask yourself that. But here's the other piece. If you're feeling that type of emotion and you're feeling that tough on the mental, nothing else good will come from today. I can tell you that with a pretty good amount of confidence. If you're feeling that type of mental, emotional drain, any of that type of stuff, you're almost always better to wrap it up. Call it a day. Go touch some grass. Go do something else, and don't just continue to put more risk on the line and take L's. We got a growing. Here's what I'm on about. We got a growing CVD. Hopping back over to my trade. We got a growing CVD. I think we get one more wick down, and I'm worried that I take the stop before we bounce. I'm not just on principle. On principle, I do a lot of discretionary things. On principle, I do not allow myself, like a chess piece, right? After we kind of take our finger off or a checker piece, whatever. I don't play chess or checkers, so maybe I should come up with a different analogy. But after I set the trade up, once I'm in it, one of the absolute things I do not allow myself to do is move stop loss wider, right? We can do a lot of different things. You can close out the trade, but moving stop loss wider in drawdown after the trades really started to move, it's a no-go. For me on this setup, I would like a stop below the 50s, like into the 45s, because I think that's a little bit better of an invalidation point than where mine is right now. But I have to have some really hard guardrails, and if I take a stop, let's say before the 45s, and I watch a reversal, my inclination, my adjustment is not going to be, well, move the stop in the future. It's going to be pay a little bit more attention and structure your trade a little bit better. Especially on an aggressive buy for a little bit wider of a move. Reason being, we have this liquidity down here. I think if we come down here, I'm taking a stop because it's just going to be a volatile move, and we don't have much past the 50s until we get down to the 35s. So I would really like my stop to not be where it is, because I think we could tap it and then bounce, which would mean it's not a good invalidation point. But I'm not going to go farther away with it. I think we could go see the 50s and bounce is really what it is. So anyway, let's see. Let's see what we get. Exactly, well said, Z. Yeah, guys. There's the like talking about stuff, and then there's the, okay, well, what's the action piece, right? If you're feeling any type of way, for what the kids say, if you have any type of that mindset, emotional conflict stronger than most days, right? Emotions, self-regulation, any of that type of stuff, lock it up, wrap it up. Market's not going anywhere. It's going to be here tomorrow. Come back. You're at risk of doing something stupid. And if we can oftentimes just prevent ourselves from doing something stupid, for lack of a better term, we can make money in the long run. It's those, it's the stupid mistakes that continue to cost us. But yeah, man, what's also supporting this is a growing CVD. We're back up below that negative 15,000. Damn, man. I think we wick lower one more time, and I don't know that I survive it. Damn. Well, it's all right. We'll see. We'll see how this one plays out. See how this one plays out. How do you execute rules? Bottom feeder stepping in. Mystic Rit said something and then dipped. How do you execute rules? I have such a hard time locking myself out. Number one, if you're on Project X, Trader, Julie, Kate, I would take the easy road first. I would build the discipline by putting the guardrails up and using the risk parameters on Project X. I would set the personal daily loss limit, personal daily profit target, set it to liquidate and lock you out, and lock it up every single day. If you struggle at all, I'm going to be a little bit tough on you guys, right? Because some of you are the same, and I always try to take a nice approach. But I'll be tough in an area where I think it warrants it. If any of you guys struggle at all with ending your red day or your green day where you should, risk management wise. If any of you struggle at all with that, even a little bit, and you trade on Project X, because you can't do it if you don't trade on Project X, you have zero excuse. There's not a lie or story that you can tell me or yourself that you shouldn't use the risk parameters. There is no reason not to. And that includes setting your personal daily profit target and personal daily loss limit to liquidate and lock, and then locking it up every single day, locking the risk setting so you can't go back in and change it every single day before you start trading. You have no excuse. The only reason that you would not do that is if you don't want to stop at that personal daily loss limit or personal daily profit target. If you don't want to stop at that level, what is the level that you want to stop at? Set it to that level and liquidate and lock it up. You don't want to do that, it's the entire account. And if you're not comfortable taking on the entire account, set the personal daily profit target and personal daily loss limit. So that's I think, a really easy starting point. Does that solve the whole real core problem? No. I think it takes a lot of deep work and experience to solve the core deep problem about mismanaging risk and not sticking to our rules. Okay. What can help there, outside of building the habit and using the tools in front of you to help build that habit? Read every book that you can get your hands on, every psychology and book, and reread them. Trading the Zone, Best Loser Wins, The Mental Game of Trading, Market Wizards, all the ones that I mention all the time, right? And then experience on the charts, because you put your hand on the stove so many dang times that eventually you find out that it's hot and you stop putting your hand on the stove. And you realize when you don't put your hand on the stove, you don't get burned. That's a painful and usually expensive way to do it. But that's part of it. Nobody can, shortcut the experience, and some of it is trial by fire. And then another huge piece for me personally that I see most traders exercise is building an enormous amount of discipline outside of the charts, all around your life, outside of the charts, that you bring with you onto the charts, okay? Here's the example that I use. I do this in a lot of different areas of my life, but here's the example that I use. I'm not a particularly great runner, and I don't particularly like running. I run an enormous amount. I run marathons and ultra marathons. That part of my life translates extremely well to the charts, okay? Because on an example, like yesterday was a really good example. I had a 10-mile run in the morning. I woke up and I was very tired. I didn't want to run at all, right? I dragged myself to get out of the house, and I got the run done. It was not a particularly good run. It's one of the slowest runs that I've done in a long period of time. I was extremely tired and miserable. But if you keep those promises to yourself, you start to build some discipline off the charts, you can bring that with you on the charts. So it's a combination, I think, of a lot of those things together, right? The understanding of the markets, the game of probabilities that we're playing, the reasonable, logical, rational way to think about this, experience, using the tools in front of you, and then building some discipline outside of the charts. I think you need all of that, really all of that, to be able to I think you were talking about me not moving a stop loss, to follow my rules, right? You really need all of that. If you're lacking in any one of those areas, you're really going to struggle. But the shortcut right off the bat to get some help is the risk parameters in Project X. Past that, read every psychology trading book and study it like the back of your hand. That's going to shortcut a lot of experience. Second to that, going to have to build some experience. And then after that, build some discipline outside the charts. If you live a completely undisciplined life, and this is a little bit tough to talk about because I've been here before as well. If you live a completely undisciplined life and you break all of your rules in all of the other areas of your life, I think you're going to find it really, really, really difficult to stick to the rules you set for yourself when money's on the line and no one's watching. Trading is the perfect storm for us to do the wrong thing. It really is. Money's on the line, and we want to be right and we want to make money. And traditionally, we're in an environment where we are not at a desk where somebody else is monitoring what we're doing, where we don't have to answer to anybody else for our actions on the chart. Okay, so it's on us to hold ourselves accountable. So again, I know that was a long rant, but I think it's a big question, and it's not a simple answer. And that's some of the stuff that goes into helping myself. It really is. There's plenty of other things you could do out there. But that's some of the stuff that I've found helps me. And I want to say, and I'll preface this, I don't have it all figured out. I struggle day in and day out with doing exactly what I'm talking about doing here, okay? It's not coming from a place of I'm an expert, I figured it all out, I never break my rules, I never had a mistake. You can go on my YouTube and watch a video of, was it 2 weeks ago or a week ago, where I had a really tough day and why I had a really tough day, how I let outside life creep into the charts and how it affected me, right? And then maybe how I'm going to adjust so that doesn't happen in the future. So that's the preface, right? You know, I never want to appear like, oh, I got it all figured out and here's all you have to do and here's the magic answer. No, just here's some stuff that I try to work on myself. So hope that helps. That was a long rant, but that's the whole answer, right? That's the whole key. You know, we know there's no magic strategy. There's no holy grail. You could watch 1,000 different people trade 1,000 different ways. You could, you know, get a strategy for free, pay for a strategy. You could figure out technical analysis pretty quickly. Why can't we make money trading? All those things that we just talked about. Can't follow your rules, can't manage risk, can't lock it up on a down day, can't lock it up on a green day, undisciplined, you know, no consistency. Those are the reasons. It's not that I need to win this next trade, right? That's not the important piece right here today. What is a challenge for me today is I want to move the stop loss. I really don't like it here, and I've got more market-generated information, but that's not part of my approach. It's not something that I allow myself to do a lot of discretionary stuff. But I do have some really clear, hard, lines in the sand. And, one of them is what I just talked about. That's doing the right thing. That's checking the box. So when I review this trade in this day, I'm going to look at other things. But the big question is, did I do what I was supposed to do today? Right? Did I do my job? Whether I took a win or a loss or a green day or a red day. That's not the end all be all. I don't care if you're red or green today. That's not what's going to determine whether or not you're a profitable trader. You need to figure that out for yourself. But did you do what you were supposed to do? Yes? Good job. Pat yourself on the back. Focus on that process. So anyway, long rant. But yeah, I got to go into it, man, because, I was stuck there for a while and we look in all the wrong places. We never want to look at that hard stuff because it's boring and it's difficult. And, oh man, I gotta be disciplined in other areas of my life to maybe make trading work. Yeah, probably, man. Probably. I don't think you have to run, marathons and ultra marathons and stuff. Maybe you don't have to be as extreme, but I don't find many completely undisciplined, people that do really well in the financial markets. I don't. I really don't at all. But let's go back to the beginning, last piece. Go into Project X, go into the risk settings, set a personal daily loss limit and a personal daily profit target, and make the setting liquidate and block, which means it closes you out of positions and locks you out of trading the account. And then every single morning, you should have an alarm set on your phone to lock those risk settings. This is a cheat code, okay? If you play video games, this is the GTA cheat code where you have 5 stars because the market's tough, but you get all the weapons, okay? It's insane that we have this. Use it. Use the guardrails, okay? It's like you're bowling and they let you put the guardrails up, and if you knock down one pin, you make 10 grand. But you're like, nah, I don't want to put the guardrails up. I can do it. I don't need the guardrails. Just put the guardrails up. Please, use the risk settings. That's the way I think about it. Anyway. Yeah, so that's my deal. Jose, what's up? Let's preach, my brother. What's going on? I see the ducks. There we go. If you're late to the party, just start your own. What's going on, guys? Well, man, in fact, so true. I struggle with discipline. It's funny how when you go back in your journaling, you realize, man, when I'm up at 5:30, 6 I'm at the gym. Yeah. Equals to really good trading day. Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, Yassine Adams. Yeah, ducks. No ducks yet, guys. I'm gonna watch this trade for a little bit longer. But yeah, so that's my thought, man. Again, and I always like to say that. I really do. I don't have it all figured out. If you guys are new, I try to repeat this stuff a lot. I'm not the best trader. I don't have it all figured out. I'm not on the leaderboards. I don't have, live accounts with prop firms. I don't have any of this crazy stuff. I don't have a magic strategy. None of that stuff, right? I think I got some juice personally. I've been trading for quite a while, but you can watch that and decide for yourself here live every day. But I don't like to talk in the context like I have all this stuff figured out and I never make mistakes and I do this all every day. I just try to talk about what I find works for me, helps me, right? But this is it's an ongoing journey. I wish that there was some finish line that I was able to hit where I didn't have to do the hard work every day and I didn't make mistakes, right? But it's not out there. So as I'm yapping about that, right, and getting intense about it, I always like to kind of bring it back to reality and say that I listen to professional some of the best traders talk, some of the guys that have passed away, some of the best traders are out there. That's the context that they speak in, right? The same that any great professional athlete, right, speaks in, right, or the things that they do, Somebody brought this one up. This wasn't me thinking about this, but someone brought this one up. Somebody was saying how somebody essentially was saying how every time they start to do well trading, they fall off. They have a boom and bust cycle, and it's not because of them trading or really any big change, but what they find is when they start to do poorly, they do all the good things that they know they're supposed to be doing. They review, they journal, they warm up on their trading day, they back test, they forward test, they do all the hard work, they pour over the data. And what does that do? Generates really good results. They start to get the really good results. They stop doing all the hard work. They think they got it all figured out. They don't go to practice. They don't show up, right? And the analogy was Kobe Bryant was one of the best basketball players, right? I don't even watch basketball, but we all know who Kobe Bryant is, right? You probably do, even if you're not from the U.S. Kobe Bryant was the dude in the gym at like 4 a.m. or 3 a.m, all those crazy stories, right? He was already the best person out there. But why was he the best person out there? Because he was shooting 1,000 shots, free throws in the gym, working out mad times a day, all this crazy stuff, right? So don't think that you get to a point and then you don't have to do any of the hard work or that you're just going to keep getting better without doing any of the hard work. You still have to, maybe you don't have to be that person, but that's the analogy, right? Look at that person. Kobe was like the best, right? Why was he in the gym? You don't need to review trades anymore. You start to make some money. You never need to back test or forward test or build confidence in your approach because you had a winning game. No, man, you got to be in the gym at 3 a.m. if you want to continue getting better. If that's what you want to do. If you want to be the best. We're competing against the best here. So I thought that was a really good analogy. I was like, damn, man, that was a great one. It's not mine, but that was a solid one. This is the best dude out there, and he's in the gym working as hard as if he has to be starting from scratch every single day, and that's what it takes. That's what it takes. Got to do the hard work. So, yeah. Anyway, that's enough ranting today, but we yapped about it. Let's see, guys. We're starting to find some buyers here. And I'm not talking about the market at all because there's really not much for me to do until we start to break back above in towards the 90s. Start looking for it. Nice analogy, yeah. Zach, you're long. I was short. Looks like you can make money in either direction. Absolutely. Your trade was looking great. How about that? Remember the Randy Brains episode? Yeah, man. You can make money short. I can make money long. You make money in both directions, man. You could have made 10 grand taking it short way after I got long and closed out before the bottom and made money, right? Kurt Rambis was the best. Sure. Tom Brady. Sure. Going to commit to locking myself out. Thank you. Yeah. Trader Julie Kate, I would encourage you to do that. Use the risk settings. Again, if you come up with a good, here, I'll challenge anybody on here because I don't have, maybe there's some reason. If you come up with a good reason about why you don't want to use the lockout settings and you are somebody that struggles with anything to do with risk management, tilt, emotional trading, emotional control, any of this stuff, let me know in Discord. Hop in the free Discord. I'm going to throw it right here. You let me know, okay? If you want to, if you say it locks you out early or it triggers it too early, set it a little bit wider. Answer solved. But if you come up with a reason, I'd like to know about it because I've yet to hear one that really makes sense to me. So, 11:10 a.m., guys. Let's take a look at this trade. We had buyers step in. We're not. We're definitely looking at the biggest pullback of the day so far, right off the low. We're looking at a really nice exhaustion of sellers for now, right? So what I start to look at this is, what are we looking at to the upside? What are we looking at to the downside? This still could definitely wick lower, and it's not the really aggressive bounce that I wanted. It's more of the slow grind to the upside. Again, I got long down in here somewhere. I'm going to hang on to this one. I'm going to make some cases for my trade. Cases for my trade, number one, price action market structure showing buyers stepping in, right? Sellers started to fail to take this thing lower, right? Decent pullback. We're at least not knifing lower. We're at least coming over to the right-hand side, right? We got consecutive bullish bars in the 1 minute. We got a nice bullish bar forming on the 15-minute. We're back above multiple 15-bar highs. We haven't been above a single 15-minute bar high all day. We're breaking to the upside, trending back towards VWAP. We also have cumulative volume delta becoming more positive, or less negative, I should say, right? At the lows, we were negative 17,000. We're down to negative 11,000. So we got some buyers stepping in. We got some buy volume stepping in. Obvious, right? Or maybe not obvious. Price moving in that direction. Big case against this trade. We got liquidity down below that did not get taken out on Bookmap. We got quite a few levels down below price. Somebody asked me on Kick before what I mean by liquidity. Zach, when you say liquidity, do you mean buyers? I mean sellers above, buyers below that I'm looking at on Bookmap. Not made up liquidity because I think there's liquidity somewhere. I'm talking about what I would consider actual real liquidity. Hey, hang tight, guys. I'll be right back. Chat, what's going on? We're running in profit. Oh man. Oh man. This is the problem with trading distracted. Guys, I gotta go. I think I'm just gonna take this. I'm gonna take this little W. I gotta run, man. This sucks. It's got a nice trade on. Guys, I'm gonna take this off right here. Join ask if I can get a little fill. Give me the fill. Give me the fill. Maybe I'll let it run. Hang on. This is not good. What I got going on is I got window inspection. I got stuff going on. These guys keep interrupting, which is okay. I appreciate everybody helping me out at my house, but I'm just not gonna be able to manage this one. So I'm gonna take this, guys.
Order filled.
I'm going to take it off right there. 330 across accounts. Maybe this thing just reverses to the moon, but I can't manage it anymore. I'm going to, I really don't like to be completely in stuff if I'm super duper distracted and I have to continue to be doing things. I can let it run with the take profit and stop loss, but I'm just going to go ahead and take it here. I appreciate you guys hopping on. Sorry that we got a W. Can't complain. One break even. One break even, small W, and then W for the second one. Continuing the win streak this week, all green, no complaints. Sorry that I was in and out today a couple times, but that's just part of owning a house and trying to have some stuff done. But I'm not just gonna keep running back and forth, and I'm gonna take it off. We're probably gonna watch it run through VWAP and be a nice trade, but I'm hella distracted. I'm not gonna be able to manage it well, so I'm taking it off. Appreciate you guys hopping on. Thanks for being here. Thank you guys. Somebody told the chair what the. Yeah. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for being here, man. Remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Nothing I say or do is financial advice. Do your own research. Make your own trading decisions. Read CFTC Rule 4.41 on simulated trading, which is what this is, even in funded prop firm accounts. Make sure you read the affiliate and partnership disclaimer that says I stand to make money from links and codes in my content. We got hella W's, guys. If you want to trade the same accounts that I'm trading, I'm going to throw this in here before I wrap it. Top 1 futures, 50% off with code RDF. Here it is in chat again. Better than the email, better than the Discord, better than the website, better than anything you see. Put it up against everybody, man. You want to support me, support yourself. There it is. Just like I said, I'm partnered, I'm affiliated. I got to be transparent about that. I stand to make money, so I can't be unbiased. Do your own research. Make your own decisions. I got partner with pretty much anybody. I'm partnering with Top 1 because I'm hella bullish on this opportunity. You guys want to hop in the free Discord? The Discord is everywhere as well. Thanks for being here, guys. Sorry that it was a little bit interruption. Can't complain about a W. Can't complain about catching longs and getting out for break even and then trying it again and getting a W. We'll see if this thing runs. And we'll see about, the difficulty sometimes of being distracted when you're supposed to be trading and fully focused up. Thanks for being here, guys. We'll see you live for 3 p.m. Power Hour. And then tomorrow, 9:30 a.m. Eastern, 100% free every damn day. Talk to you guys soon.